anybody that downplays the importance of money in this game either has money or they don't do it professionally. Like I mean, so it's an important part, and sometimes it becomes um very hard to step outside of it and gamble a little bit on yourself and be like, look, this feels right to me and I'm interested in this. And even though I don't necessarily see dollar signs right now, I think I'm going to go in. And especially when you said, now, granted, the podcast was becoming very popular as you're still, have a relationship with DC and stuff, but all of those had to at least have some kind of, uh, mental questioning in a bit of like, is this the right thing to do? Like, should I say no to this and yes to
Well,
this?
practically speaking, yes, but it felt right to do
Yeah.
it. And looking back, it's insane that that's sort of what I did, like just sort of feeling my way through it. And some of it could be chalked up to ignorance. I mean, when I was younger, I moved to LA and I started doing commercial work. I started doing some work with Shy Day and doing some jobs for Sony. And I remember when I was taking the set the first time, I was like, wait, like the producer like picked me up, which I thought was weird. I'm like, why are you picking me up? Like this
Yeah.
is insane. Like she's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm here to help you. I'm like, okay, like I'm used to like lugging my shit over a fence at a school when I'm not supposed to be there carrying all my stuff. And
Uh,
and I'm like, wait, like we show up at this location, there's all these people, there's like 30, 40 people there. I'm like, what are all these people doing there? She's like, this is your photo shoot. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, wait a second. I was like, my daughter, I'm like, what do they all do? I don't
yeah.
understand. I didn't necessarily, I didn't like the vibe of it at the time. And so I did that work for about a year or two. And I was younger and I was just like, when you're young, you're just like, oh, I'm going to be doing this forever. And I was like, I want to just travel the world with my friends and like shoot skateboarding. And that's what I chose to do. And,
Right.
looking back on it, that was a pretty stupid decision, monetarily speaking.
Sure.
But, it allowed me to create a body of work and be around people that it was very creative for me. And it helped me later in life when I decided to get back into commercial photography. And actually at the time, like art directors and people at agencies, they grew up skateboarding. So they actually were seeing what I was doing this whole time.
Right.
But it just because it felt right. It felt right to do that. And had I stopped in 2000 when I moved to LA and just slowly tried to focus on creative work, I don't know what would have happened had I not, shot skateboarding for the last 20 years. Like if I just did it for 5 years and stopped and started, shooting portraits for Sony, I don't think that my work would be looked at the same way. And I don't think I'd have the same outlook on photography. And I may not have ended up, crossing paths with Andrew. And so I sort of like, it's been I felt very lucky that I've been able to just sort of feel my way through it and do what truly felt right and what I had fun doing. So it's again, I don't, it's I feel very lucky that I've been able to do that. And again, when when I look back and I'm like, wait, I said no to making as much in a day as I did way more than a month at the time.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
have to fill a lot of pages in Thrasher to make what I was making in a day for like a whatever, but it was like that was more fun for me. So
Yeah.
it's like, I know a lot can be said for that. And again, I'm very thankful I had those experience and made those choices.
No, I think that really sums it up and says it. Like, you've really, you can call it a stupid decision. And like you said, financial, or you financially stupid decision, but like you just said, it created this path that, has provided you you're plenty comfortable, and yet have also really been able to love what you do. And that, man, that's, it's huge. I've had my ups and downs, and but there's just so much to be said to be able to look back and go like, yeah, it's been pretty good. And but like I said, I think for me, I'm just trying to get better at doing exactly that. Just get better at going, yeah, why not? Yeah, I'll do it. Like this sounds fun, and maybe I say no to something that financially I should probably say yes to, but I'm just gonna to gamble on it. And I can't say that I've been that disciplined in doing that. It's becoming more of a new thing. I think it's a little easier as my kids get older, but nothing's gotten cheaper. So so like it's still,
This is true.
still yeah, it still feels very, dangerous is the wrong word, but it feels fraught sometimes to be like, I don't know, man. I guess I'm gonna say no. Like, I guess I'm gonna block off time to say yes to this thing that is for free, but it sounds really fun to me and it sounds really interesting. But it really
Well, because that's where the best work comes from. And
yeah,
that's where you get, the drive to create better work when it maybe is something that you don't necessarily want to do. And that's where that comes from, and that's what Rick's book's all about,
yeah,
finding the source of what makes you, what makes you creative and what you truly want to do. And like, whether consciously or not, that's what I've thankfully been able to do for my entire career, so and
yeah.
again, monetarily speaking, not a wise decision to walk away from doing commercial work when I was younger, but thankfully,
Mhm.
that I was able to get back into it and be able to do it for the last like 10 years or so. And yeah, it's been incredible.